Hello, and greetings from our nation's capital. I'm Camille Calimlim Touton, Commissioner of the Bureau of Reclamation. Thanks to the Family Farm Alliance for the invitation to present remarks as part of your annual meeting and conference in my home state. This is among the nation's leading events for those working to preserve Western irrigated agriculture, so it's always an honor for Reclamation to participate. I want to thank Executive Director and my friend, Dan Keppen, President Pat O'Toole and Sharon O'Toole, and the entire board for your leadership and partnership. Reclamation respects and appreciates your role as powerful advocates for family farmers, ranchers, irrigation districts, and allied industries in the 17 Western states. You were one of the first people I spoke to last year when I returned to the Department of the Interior. It is so wonderful to be back with you, and I hope to be with you in person later this year. Our partnership is a long-standing one, and is one that I value. Your conference theme this year, Those in the Arena, embodies both the heart of your organization and the long-term partnership with Reclamation and with me personally. We've definitely been in the arena together to help enact major Western water legislation and make sure that the agriculture is a central consideration in crafting national water policies. This has ranged from small conduit hydropower to expanded water storage, renewed investment in aging infrastructure, to title transfer legislation, and more. Those legislative victories have been achieved through collaborative efforts. And as an example of how those victories have paid off, in the first year of this administration, Reclamation has allocated nearly $500 million for new water storage. We broke ground on Friant Kern Canal rehabilitation on January 25th of this year. And through early February, we've completed 4 title transfers, including 2 recently in Washington state. You are, as you note, the problem solvers, and your success comes from focus on one mission: to ensure the availability of reliable, affordable irrigation water supplies to Western farmers and ranchers. Reclamation is proud to be your partner across the 17 Western states as you carry out that mission. Momentarily, you will hear from several of our Bureau partners during the much-anticipated Reclamation Roundtable. Deputy Commissioner David Palumbo and our colleagues will discuss issues and activities from across the basins. That will be, as always, an informative and lively discussion skillfully handled by the subject matter experts. And tomorrow, Assistant Secretary for Water and Science Tanya Trujillo will join you as well. As for my time with you, I believe it appropriate that I center my remarks as Commissioner around the topic you and I agree is among the most critical of our time and one with significant opportunity: the efficient implementation of the President's transformational Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. Throughout my remarks, I will also refer to it as the bill or the law. The bill represents a generational investment to address the vast infrastructure challenges facing Western water and power communities. Key to its successful implementation is an informed discussion among a broad range of federal leadership and stakeholders, which includes you. And before I delve into specifics, I want to first acknowledge our recognition of the hardships the drought has presented across the basin over the last few years. This year has already been a roller coaster of hydrology, a record of snowpack month followed by no snow weeks. This warmer, drier West and its variable hydrology has drastically affected our operations and has significantly impacted you, the agricultural contractors we serve in the communities in which you live and the people whose jobs support those communities. Across the West, Reclamation has been faced with the need to manage this historic drought in the moment. It has been daunting, but we've responded with financial resources, operational flexibilities, and technical assistance. Basin by basin, we are engaged in actions to mitigate the impacts of a drying landscape. And we intend to continue these efforts and leverage the resources in the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law to build a more resilient Western landscape. The Family Farm Alliance is a recognized authority on critical issues dealing with Western water policy, and you put in the time with the coalition's efforts to get the bill enacted. As such, you are intimately familiar with Reclamation's authorized program areas under the law, and our partnership with you will play a positive role in Reclamation's implementation. We are aligned with the FFA's position that bill dollars are spent, as Dan said, on the ground for the intended purpose. In this regard, we look forward to working with you for success on two fronts. First, ensuring that the funds are allocated in a way that's timely, efficient, and effective. Secondly, fostering dialogue that enables recipients to take advantage of the opportunity afforded them. As with any successful relationship, the ability to be candid and direct about what is possible is something that this organization and I have. If you look at our track record of success, it reflects a collaboration of political, economic, and policy realities, and it stands the test of time. The messages your organizations choose to send about the promise bill holds will lay the groundwork for whether local entities participate and put in the time to learn about these opportunities, apply for the funding, and build it into their own planning and capital investment efforts. Most importantly, we need to be able to communicate and collaborate because Reclamation's successful implementation of bill is your success. Reclamation is committed to collaborative efforts to ensure that bill investments reflect the administration's priorities. This includes investing public dollars efficiently, working to avoid waste, and of focusing on measurable outcomes for the American people. This aligns with my fundamental belief that the clearest path to success is through respectful and mutually beneficial collaboration. Reclamation shares your philosophy, and I'm quoting here, "The best solutions come from the ground up and are driven locally by real people with a grasp of reality on the ground." Reclamation also agrees with your position that bill funding must deliver meaningful results. That's why Reclamation stood up the Cross-Directorate Program Management Implementation Team, comprised of deputy regional directors in local offices your members know, and some leadership in Denver. This team will ensure timely execution of the statute, inclusion of local perspective, and efficient distribution of funds to advance and complete authorized projects. Reclamation's implementation aligns with the department and adheres to President Biden's priorities to effectively coordinate with partners and build resilient infrastructure. Priorities also include investing in public dollars equitably, improving job opportunities, and delivering outcomes for the American people. These, however, are not new objectives, having been a long-standing part of the Bureau's business practice. Reclamation seeks clear communications in all fiscal years before, during, and after bill implementation. The 6 live information sessions we hosted in December and January were just the kickoff to what we intend to be a long-term commitment to open communication throughout the law's life cycle. I hope you found those useful if you participated. If you are not able, I encourage you to review our archived webcast at www.usbr.gov/BIL. We have posted a public-facing Bipartisan Infrastructure Law website describing the implementation approach. We've included our initial spend plan on the site to provide as much detail as possible, as well as links to many bill-related funding opportunities that are rolling out this year. The spend plan, which we submitted to Congress on January 14th and have supplemented since then, is for the fiscal year 2022 funding allocations authorized into law. It represents a blueprint for how Reclamation will invest in a $1.66 billion annual allocation. Additionally, Reclamation's regional and Washington leadership continues to engage with you and other stakeholders at external events, including some of your organization's 2022 conference events like today. And you have my commitment to maintain this dialogue with you during 2022 and for the duration of the law's implementation. As of this recording on February 2nd, Reclamation has 4 public bill-related funding opportunities or application periods open to our customers. We have published or are planning publication of program criteria for 3 distinct new bill-funded programs this year. And we have 2 bill-related Reclamation manual releases, either posted as temporary releases or in the final stage of review and publication as of this recording. Before I wrap up, I'd like to acknowledge some key points. First, I know that there will be significant challenges in assuring that the resources appropriated by Congress are utilized as efficiently as possible to meet the statute's intent. Higher than average construction cost volatility, manufacturing and supply chain constraints associated with the COVID-19 pandemic, and other extant factors will greatly influence bill implementation and are factored into our planning. But we are going to use the law to advance continued progress in areas like Water Smart. We're working with local districts across the West. We have funded 749 Water Smart projects just since 2016. That included $365 million in federal funding and leveraged $1.1 billion in non-federal funds. The water and energy efficiency grant projects funded since 2016 alone are expected to save more than 430,000 acre-feet of water per year once completed. Next, there will be competition for time, competition for resources, and difficult choices to be made to fund projects within the parameters of the law. Further, we anticipate that there will be more stakeholder requests that can be accommodated by the law in the next 5 years. These are all challenges that we can and will overcome. Finally, we know that there are many more questions still to be answered about which projects will get what amount of money. We are working through that with your contacts in the regional and area offices, and they are working with you, FFA's members, to understand the need and capability behind every project. To make this work, we need the channels of communication that have always served us so well. We need to keep talking, and our being with you this week is an indication of our collective commitment to that communication. We are dedicated to working together to communicate, to collaborate, and to overcome these and any of the unseen challenges that await us on this journey. In closing, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law implementation will succeed based on the participation by you, our local partners. We welcome your continuing constructive engagement to help make this effort a success. Thank you for the chance to talk to you today. The next 5 years will provide significant advancements in areas of mutual interest. Reclamation is excited and ready for the work on the ground to manage Western water. Again, I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this year's annual conference. And now, I turn the program over for the introduction of the Reclamation Roundtable.